and welcome all to another exciting episode of Beantown Shakedown. I am Mike Davies. Next to me, we got Nick Vidakevich, your two Boston sports experts on campus. And I think this is the first episode that we can officially talk about all four sports and actually be excited about all of them. Because the lockout's officially over. We got a 66-game season. We have the Red Sox getting Bobby Valentine, and the Patriots are rolling along with their easy schedule.
And you got the Bruins that just signed David Krejci to a 3-year extension. So we got a lot to talk about today.
You mean the Bruins who got points in every single game that they scored in November?
Yes, those
played?
Bruins.
Outrageous. I cannot believe that the Bruins have done that well so far. And Nick was giving the Bruins a lot of garbage for the way that the Bruins have been playing in October and just October. And with the way that the Bruins played in November, what were they, 15-0-1? Is that the official?
9-0-1.
I swear to God I saw 15.
I mean, we can look it up later, but I think you're wrong. So
okay.
I think it's 9-0-1.
Of course.
But yeah, I admitted I was wrong. This team got out of that hangover state. They decided to show up, play a little bit, decided they wanted to, win maybe another championship. The players are playing well, but not the players you expected. You're not seeing enough out of guys like David Krejci and even Nathan Horton to an extent. It's guys like Sagan and Marchand and Bergeron, those guys who really bring the energy, and guys like Chris Kelly and Peverly, like guys I hate.
But you don't like the Peverly-Kelly line?
No, absolutely not. The Peverly-Kelly line is probably the worst line created in the NHL. The only player that is good on that line, the only player that is good on that line is Chris Kelly.
That's outrageous. All of Chris Kelly's goals, I think he's a good player. All of his goals come off of Rich Peverly's moves.
Benoit Pouliot on that line is a joke. He's a joke on this team. We said it last year when he was on the Canadiens, and now because he's a Bruin, we have to love him. No, that's wrong.
All right, well, no, let's go back to last postseason. I'm telling you, if these two guys were not on this team, I'm telling you we would not have made it past the second round. They had so many clutch goals because they were the guys that you did not expect to have goals. I swear it was...
Yeah, and if Michael Ryder wasn't on the team, he wouldn't have saved that goal in overtime. Like, you can make a billion cases like that. It's not...
But it wasn't one instance for these guys. It was multiple. They have proven themselves, and it was just coincidence that they
Rich
was in the playoffs.
Peverly has not proven himself. He's supposed to be a top-line player.
Then why did he get a 3-year extension?
Because the Bruins don't know what they're doing. And that's evident when they signed David Krejci today.
Okay, so the Bruins just signed David Krejci for a 3-year extension through the 2014-2015 season.
Yep.
For those of you who did not know that. So let's get into it. I think this is a good deal. Nick has been against this, and it seems like there's a fair share of people in Boston that aren't for it. But it seems like a lot of people are talking about the possibility of just having him to be a trade option, to trade him off for someone.
Well, then why are you paying him that much? $5 million?
5.25.
All right.
Every penny counts. So it was a 3-year extension. I think it's a good sign.
I don't, because this guy, he started off well his rookie year. He hasn't gotten better and better each year. He stayed consistent, but he's not worth $5 million.
I came prepared for this one, so I knew you were against this. Do you know how many points a game David Krejci has in his career?
How many?
0.7. That's pretty good. Do you know how many points per game he has in the playoffs?
How many?
0.85. This is a guy who steps up when it matters most. That's what it matters.
No, Mike, you're wrong. Because they're putting this guy off as a top-line center. He's not a top-line center in the NHL. Not even on this team anymore is he a top-line center. I'd rather have Tyler Sagan or Patrice Bergeron at center than him because he's not as creative as, say, Mark Savard used to be or Sidney Crosby or these Stamkos or these other guys that play the position and play it well. He's a good player, but he's not as good as they're making him out to be. He does not deserve $5 million. That's a lot of cap space that could have went other places that we need. I can't agree with this decision.
Well, we're going to have to see how it plays out. Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing for sure. For right now, in the air, for sure. So, looking ahead at the Bruins, considering this is our last episode of the semester, how do you feel like this team is going to do coming up?
I said it a month or so ago, right in October. The only way this team can get back is if, like, they have the start to the season like they did in '08, where October wasn't so well, and then that November and December was really, really done. It was a good start. If they can put another string like they did in November together, this team's good for the rest of the year. They could have a few ups and downs from there on out. I don't expect them to win every game in December, but if they string together another hot streak, I think good things will happen. But I wrote this when I was writing my Vitz Voice this week. It means nothing until the end of the year, and that's evident from the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, yes, that's for sure. So, yeah, and you can heat up at certain points, but it all depends how you do for the 82-game season. I don't see too many problems with this team right now.
There's no gaping hole in this team. There's nothing major that needs to happen, that they need to go out and look for someone. I think the chemistry is done is well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the skill is pretty good. They could always use someone else, but so can every team. I think if you're going to look for someone, you're going to look for defense. Someone that could, help anchor Chara. Seidenberg's kind of that guy, but he's not an offensive threat. I'd like to see an offensive defenseman on this team.
Well, is that why you got Hamilton in the draft?
Yeah, it is, but that's long term. I'm talking now.
Okay.
Someone proven, so if they go out and make a trade, I'd like that.
So you're saying kind of like the trade deadline type move, kind of like getting your Peverly and Chris Kelly. And don't even, I know you have a problem with them. Don't even say that wasn't a good trade, because if you look back at all the years of championships in Boston sports, you have to think of the most memorable ones. Wow, I cannot believe in 2004 the Red Sox traded Nomar. And what happened? They got Orlando Cabrera, who's a great defender and had clutch home runs, and they also got Minkiewicz.
Doug Minkiewicz, first base, yeah.
Yep, they also got Minkiewicz, who was a Gold Glover and actually caught the final out of the World Series. So, clearly proven guys. And if you even look at other teams, like the Bruins did it last year, I just don't see why. Obviously, football doesn't really have the equivalent of that, but it's all about making those mid-season moves, and I feel like the Bruins need to make a couple, because
they do.
You see teams waive people, you have people dropping. Like, example, Donovan McNabb just got released by the Vikings. Mm-hmm. So, you got to make these moves. Like, I know you have guys that are big names, but if it comes down to it and they're not performing, you got to get rid of them. And for right now, luckily, the Bruins don't have anyone to worry about. No coaches will be fired, with what's happening around the league now.
Yeah, especially out in Washington. That wasn't a surprise, but
Boudreaux?
Boudreaux, that coach, he's a good coach, but he wasn't getting through to his guys.
Now he's on the Ducks.
Yep. So
it's pretty bizarre stuff. So before we move on, do you have anything else you want to say about the Bruins? I feel like we're pretty safe until we come back in mid-January.
I hope at this point in mid-January we're still high in the standings, and I hope that David Krejci turns it around, because if he doesn't turn it around, that's a problem for our future.
Now, let's go back to it then. Do you think that they made the signing so the question marks go away? Because this has been a question all season. Are they going to sign him? Are they going to sign him? What's going to happen?
They had no reason to sign him right now.
But you know what? I think this is a smart strategy, now that you mentioned it like that, because now he has nothing to worry about. He can just focus on playing the game. There's none of that stupid money issues, and he can just move on.
They should have waited later into the season. There was no reason to sign him for that amount of money, for that amount of cap space right now.
If you win, if you get points in 13 or 15 straight games in a row, you got to make a signing of some sort.
How many points did he contribute, though? That's the thing. He hasn't been a big factor on this team this year.
Well, I mean, still, you got to look at all the plus minuses and everything.
Is he your top line center? Is he the top? Is that the top line? That's what bugs me about this team. Our top line is not really a top line when you go around the league. We have some good players, but they're second-tier type players.
Well, we all know that the Bruins are a defensive team, so your forwards aren't going to be your 30-point scorers. And you know that.